Techniques to develop and improve your study skills. Studying is a skill you can develop, something you have to learn how to do, so don't be discouraged if it isn't always easy. Practical study skills can help you prepare for any quiz, exam, or essay without feeling overwhelmed if you want to improve your grades or train for a big test. Instead, you'll stay focused and improve your academic performance if you develop good habits. It is never too late to start practicing good study habits, whether you're in elementary school, high school, or college. Of course, everyone learns in their unique way. Naturally, some study tips will be more beneficial than others, but having a variety of study techniques in your back pocket can help you overcome procrastination and leave study stress behind. Aim to become a better learner than you are right now, and push yourself further and further. Use grades to gauge how well you are learning, and don't get mad with the teacher if you aren't getting good grades. There's no denying that it feels good to get a high grade, and it's fun to show to your family and friends. Pull your scattered ideas together like a jigsaw puzzle and solve the mystery. Then, check your work by comparing the main ideas from the different sources. Work out the learning goals you want to achieve. Be the tortoise by taking it slow and steady. Find a quiet place to study with few distractions. Picture this: your school is crushed by a giant foot, and the new location is fantastic. Stretch yourself to spot the gaps in what you're shown, then turn them into questions. Next, please take a few deep breaths to keep your nerves in check when it's time for tests. Your wandering mind can find creative new ideas. Finally, think of a question to ask to steer your mind back to the speaker. It would be best to create the conditions in your body and external environment to learn and retain information successfully. For example, getting a good night's sleep and switching up your study environment can increase recall performance. Eliminate distractions by silencing your phone and background noises such as the TV or radio. Make a deal with yourself to avoid checking social media until your study session is over. You could make a list of the essential information from a chapter and write it in your own words. Discussing assignments with friends is another great way to study for tests. For every class, dedicate a binder, folder, or notebook. Buy an agenda book and use it. Don't wait until the last minute. Find a consistent place to study and keep all your study supplies in reach. Make a weekly study schedule and stick to it. Take your chapter outlines and make a weekly study schedule based on them. You can apply the SQ3R methodology: survey, question, read, recite, review, which consists of a reading comprehension technique that helps students identify important facts and retain information within their textbook. Try these steps for a more efficient and effective study session. Survey: instead of reading the entire book, start by skimming the first chapter and taking notes on headings, subheadings, images, or other standout features like charts. Question: formulate questions around the chapter's content, such as, what is this chapter about? What do I already know about this subject? Read: begin reading the entire chapter and look for answers to the questions you formulated. Recite: after reading a section, summarize in your own words what you just read. Then, try recalling and identifying major points and answering any questions from the second step. Review: once you have finished the chapter, it's crucial to review the material to understand it fully. Quiz yourself on the questions you created and reread any portions you need to. Another methodology is the PQ4R: preview, question, read, reflect, recite, review. This method takes an active approach to learning that improves memorization and understanding of the topic. Similar to the SQ3R method, this methodology involves 6 steps. Preview: visualize the information before starting reading to get an idea of the subject. Skim the material and read only the headers, subheadings, and highlighted text. Question: ask yourself questions related to the topic, such as, what do I expect to learn? What do I already know about this topic? Read the information one section at a time and try to identify answers to your questions. Reflect: Did you answer all of your questions? If not, go back and see if you can find the answer. Recite, in your own words, either speak or write down a summary of the information you just read. Review, look over the material one more time and answer any questions that have not yet been answered. Retrieval practice is based on the concept of remembering at a later time. Spaced practice encourages students to study over a more extended period. Review your material in spaced intervals. On the other hand, an efficient way of learning a concept is by explaining it in plain and simple terms. So if you want to comprehend something fully, try to explain it as simply as possible. It's essential to plan out your daily and weekly schedule so you can carve time for studying. Block off time for each activity, keeping in mind when you'll be most productive and alert. Pre-planning little rewards can give you an incentive to push through. Creating a to-do list or checklist is a helpful study tip that helps you remember everything you need to get done. Next, personalize your at-home study area with a few touches of comfort and inspiration, like a desk plant and a blanket if it gets chilly. Stay away from high-sugar snacks that will make your energy levels spike and crash. Instead, nuts, seeds, blueberries, dark chocolate, avocados, and other healthy foods can all leave you feeling awake and energized. When you are well organized, you may find it takes less time. Select a spot at home with the least amount of disruption, with good lighting, and where you can concentrate on what you're doing. Schedule breaks if you have a lot of studies to do. Use your time wisely and make study a priority. In other words, study when it's time to learn so you can play and relax when it's time to play and relax. Keep a detailed planner listing all your tests and assignments. Then, each day, write down the homework or studying you have to do and when you plan to do it. It can be helpful to write down other time commitments you have, too. It is okay to change your schedule if something else comes up when you are meant to be working, but try not just to cancel your study time. Do it earlier to have fun later. Take a close look at the notes you keep. Good notes are vital and very helpful. Organize them after class when the information is still fresh, review them the same evening, and refer back to them when it's time to start studying for tests. Studies have shown that you remember more if you take notes by hand instead of on the computer. After an hour of sitting and studying, get up and take a little break. For example, you can walk around or get some air outside. Try to make the break last about 10 minutes so that you can go back to studying. When you take frequent active breaks, you're able to learn much more in the long term than if you try to sit and study for many hours without stopping. Figure out your learning style so you can study more strategically. Different people have different forms of learning that work best for them. For example, some people are visual learners, which means they learn best from images and reading. Some people are auditory learners, which means they most clearly remember what they hear. Jingles and songs can help them retain information. And some people are tactile learners, also called kinesthetic learners. They learn best by physically handling the things they are learning about. Studies have shown that teaching a concept to somebody else helps you learn it and retain it far better than just studying it on your own. So if you've got a particularly perplexing idea you're trying to learn, try teaching it to a friend. Likewise, trying to explain a tricky concept in simple language can clarify your understanding. However, when you're feeling stuck studying, don't be afraid to ask for help.